Well, Christmas is over and I have had 2 days off, so now I can actually properly bitch and moan about my days and the guests that I had to endure, given that I've had a little bit of time to rest and recover. But my goodness, y'all, I know there's a literary crisis or literacy crisis going on in this country, but I didn't know that the reading comprehension and critical thinking skills were so goddamn low until working this holiday season. The amount of guests that came into the restaurant that I work at and proceeded to, upon being seated by the hosts, get up and immediately begin to help themselves to our salad bar without talking to a single member of the service staff about how many people were there, what the fuck they wanted to do, what they wanted to order, if they were doing still or sparkling, what cocktails they wanted, what appetizers they wanted, or any of the other entrees that would be ordered, was astounding and baffling. The amount of guests that sat down who I greeted and said, "I will be right back with your water and bread and we will get food and drinks ordered then," only for me to return to an empty table because everyone took it upon themselves to get up and leave the table before placing any orders with me or anyone else on the serving staff. The amount of guests that came to the restaurant, sat down, and then before they received so much as a plate, a drop of water, a drop of sauce, or a greeting from anyone that worked there, are in such a theatrical way flipping their medallions from red to green and slapping it on their table with a percussive thud. For what? You don't have a plate, sir. I haven't even introduced myself to you. Would you like a plate? Oh no, you're gonna go to the market table. Well, why are we on green? We can't do tableside service to you, silly, if you don't have a plate. Why don't we start with, I don't know, drink orders? Why don't we start with, hi, hey, hello, how are you? This is what we're doing. We've dined here before, we haven't. The slapping of the medallion from red to green before you even have flatware would on one hand tell me that you do know how the system works, but also might tell me that you might be a caveman that thinks it's suitable to eat food off of the empty table instead of off of a plate. Because generally speaking, we would get a plate before we do that. Or when we go out to eat, we would order something from the server. And when I say over 50% of my tables, both Christmas Eve and Christmas, just took it upon themselves, by the time I even got to the table, no one was there. And of course, then people are complaining when certain things that they wanted to order are taking a while to get to the table, but they didn't place those orders with anyone until after all 13, 14, 15, or 20 members of their party got back from waltzing around the market table, which took 15 minutes of our time, before I could even say, "Hi, I'm charmed," before I could even get anyone still or sparkling water. When you go to a restaurant, people, talk to your server before everyone just gets up and does their own thing. If you've been there before, make sure you have a plate and silverware and glassware. Make sure that you have told your server hello. Make sure that you have gotten drinks ordered before we begin to help ourselves to experiences that have not been communicated to the serving staff are going to be a part of your evening or afternoon. Like, my goodness. An entirely separate TikTok will be made about the amount of people that simply cannot read a menu, but I didn't even get there with a lot of the guests. They just got up, and when all of their party sat down, they went, "Hi y'all, I'm so sorry. I wasn't able to get any orders from anyone. Do we know what we're doing for lunch today?" I also I see we don't have anything to drink. I'm happy to grab still or sparkling. Everyone just got up before I could greet the table. The looks of bafflement and bewilderment I met with, like they're goddamn seagulls waiting for a french fry. Not to mention the guests that came back from the market table, and then when I went over before I could even say anything, they said, "We don't have water." Yeah, no shit, because you didn't order water with anyone, because no one here knows what you're doing, because you didn't let anyone come and greet you. What I said was, "Oh, yeah, miss, I wasn't able to get any orders from y'all. I know that you were seated, but by the time I made my way over to greet you, everyone seemed to have gone to the market table. Are we doing this experience today?" "Oh, we are. Great. I will get that started. I hope did we want any appetizers today?" "Oh, we didn't. Okay, good. Well, what do we want to drink? I can do still or sparkling." Now we're getting it started. 20 minutes later, because you couldn't sit for 2 seconds to greet a serving member of the staff at a restaurant that you chose to go out to on a holiday. PSA, y'all. Order with your server when you go out. I don't know why this is rocket science.